Hey everybody, this is Mrs. Thompson. I'm going to teach everyone how to play a new game that we've played a ton in the classroom and kids are going to be really familiar with. This game is called Write the Room. So all of the materials that you're going to need for this game is just a blank piece of paper or something. This is something that we used in the classroom. This worksheet actually says Write the Room, but as you can see, it's just a blank piece of paper with 8 lines on it. You can have 10 or 12, 5, it doesn't matter. And then you're also gonna need some little squares of paper and then a marker and some tape or something that you would use to stick to the walls or furniture or mirrors or things like that. Because what we're going to be doing is kids are going to be on a search, a little treasure hunt, basically, to find sight words, CVC words, addition problems, subtraction problems, all those different types of things. We played this a lot in class, and I would tape up a bunch of words, sight words, math problems around the classroom. Kids would travel around with a clipboard and their little worksheet, and they just had to find them. Sometimes I would hide them in little spots so they couldn't see them, and then they write them down, and then they would try and just fill their entire list. One thing that you can use if you created Zap from one of my other videos, you could use those same cards, letter cards, number cards, sight words, any of those things. You could use the same ones, or you can make a new set because these ones are going to get tape on them. So what I did here at my house is I turned every one of my rooms into a different version of Write the Room, so you can see some different ways that we can play it. So we're going to travel around my house a little bit and we're going to see how you can play Write the Room at your house. All right, so welcome to my bathroom. We are going to play Write the Bathroom. So what I did in here is I took our sight words. And so I just looked at the pink, purple, whatever color you were on, looked at that sight word list, words that the kids need to work on, and I wrote those words on the little squares, and then I put them in different spots in the bathroom. So got one on a picture frame, one on the mirror, number one on the shower, and so you can put them anywhere. And so what kids are going to do when they want to play is they would go around the room, whatever room you choose, and they find a sight word, and then with their list, they would write that word down, and then they've got it. So another way that you can play this too with sight words is instead of them just starting with a blank list, one thing that you could do that could help them, this could either be an extra challenge for some students or this could help make it a little bit easier for them. It really depends on what kind of words you're using. Is what you can do is you can give them the first letter of the word. So in the bathroom, I have the words one, dog, and house. And so what I could do on my paper as the parent before you give this to them is you could put an O, and then you could put a D, and then you could put an H. And then you say, okay, go find these words. And they would go into whatever room, find the words, and they see that this one starts with an O. So they can't just go up to any word and write it down. They have to find the word that starts with O. And then they would write it down. Or then they would go to the next word that starts with a D. I've got the word dog right there. They would find that word and then write it down. And then lastly, I have the word house back here. They would have to go find the house and then write that word down. So 2 versions that you could play with this game is them just writing down the words that they see or giving them that first letter. So this is our sight words way to play. Let's go to another room. Okay, so now we're in my kitchen and we're gonna play Write the Kitchen. What I did in the kitchen, the words that I chose are not sight words. This time I picked CVC words, which are 3-letter words, consonant, vowel, consonant. Every week with our slideshows, you guys are getting a list of CVC words that we're working on or that go with a word family. And so I just picked the words from that list. So the words for this week are et words. So I picked the word met, and then let's travel around my kitchen and find the rest of our words. So I have a word on the microwave. This word is let. And then I have over here the word jet. So what you can do with these 3-letter words is you can kind of do it the same way as you did with the sight words, where kids could travel around with their list. They see a word and they write it down, just like that. Or you can do it the other way by giving them the first letter of the word, like that, giving them the J and giving them the L, and then they would have to go around and they would have to find that word. They found the word, and then they would write it down, just like that. Jet, just like that. So it's a little bit different, but it's another great way for them to practice those word families, CVC words, sounding out words nice and slowly. Let's go check out another room. Okay, now we are in my laundry room. We're gonna play Write the Laundry Room. So what I did in here now is I switched over to doing the same concept of Write the Room, but instead we're gonna use it for math. And so what I did is I made just simple addition cards. All of our addition problems only add up to 10 at the max. Choose problems that are lower than that. And so this room is addition, and I wrote the problem 1 + 4 right there and taped that up. And then I found another spot on my wall, did 3 + 5. So 2 ways that you can play this is students can travel around with their piece of paper. They find a problem that you posted, and then they would have to write it down. 1 + 4. And then they could solve it. 1 and 4 make 5. So then they would have to write that. So that gives them really good practice at writing an entire equation, which is really good. So you could play that way, and then they would go around and they would continue to solve their problems. Or you can do it the opposite way, and you have the answers already given. So say that I have the answer 5 on there and I have the answer 8. So I have those numbers written, 5 and 8, and then kids would have to travel around and try and find the problem that matches the answer. So they would travel up to this one, see that it says 1 + 4, and they have to think, what is 1 + 4? Put those together. That is 5. And then they could write 1 + 4. The thing that might be a little bit tricky with this is writing the problem backwards. And so you could even give them the equal sign and the plus sign to make it a little bit easier. And they would just have to figure out what 2 numbers go in that blank spot. And then they would continue to travel around. They see that this problem is 3 + 5. They work that out, and then they realize that that matches the one that's 8. 3 + 5. So you could write all the answers, or they just go around, they write the problems and the answers. Now 1 room left. Let's go. Okay, we're in the last room, and we're going to do Write the Bedroom. What I did in here is I did subtraction problems on those little cards. So kids could come in and they would find subtraction problems written around the room, and you kind of do it the exact same way as you did with the addition. 2 different ways to play. So they could go to a spot, find the problem that says 3 - 2. So then they would write it down, 3 - 2, and then they would have to solve that problem. 3 take away 2 = 1. And they would travel around, hide them in good spots, and then they would solve all of those problems. Or you can do it the other way, where you are giving them the answer and they have to match it with the problem. So I'll have like a 3, a 1, and a 0. And then you can give them the equal sign if you want to. You can give them the subtraction sign, depending. Think about your kid, think about what they can do. Don't overexert them if you think that it's not something that they can do. Keep it easy, and then you can always work up to that. So then they would have the answers, and they have to try and find the problem that matches. So we can go over to this problem right here that says 4 minus 1. So we think, solve the problem. 4, take away 1 equals 3. So which one of my answers is 3? This one. So then I would write 4 minus 1. And then I'd travel to another problem, that 3 minus 2. 3 minus 2 is 1. So then I would find the 1 on there, 3 minus 2. So there was 4 different ways that you could play that. Sight words, CVC words, addition problems, and subtraction problems. Make up your own ways, have it be a fun scavenger hunt for your kids, and they'll really have fun with it. So give it a try. Okay, bye.